I'm no economist. I'm certainly no virologist. I'm just an old house painter with bad knees from 35 years on the ladder. But since the first days of the toilet paper apocalypse, every prediction I've made has come to pass. Judging by your comments, thousands of you were thinking the same things. Early on, I predicted deaths commensurate with a bad flu season. We're on track for that. I predicted that the virus would taper off when the weather warmed and it would follow the pattern of a flu season. The weather hasn't warmed up much yet, but the virus seems to be receding. I said that this was a city issue and a density issue and that the promised surge of deaths in California was not going to happen. At this point, half of America's deaths are in New York City and its commuter suburbs. Half. And California is full of empty hospitals and laid-off nurses. I called for masks as a tool for opening businesses while every government hack was still lecturing us against them. Within a week, California officials did an about-face, and now they require masks. They just won't let us wear them to work. And 12 days ago, I called on the president to convene a restart task force to begin a platformed reopening of the economy. Not that he's listening to me, but 5 days later, he did just that. I said this. It's time for phase 2. It's time for Trump to announce the restart task force and for him to lead it himself. That's the man's wheelhouse, cheerleading an economic comeback. Let Pence handle the other task force. We need Trump doing what he does well. The restart task force, or whatever catchy name we might give it, could begin by allowing all towns and cities far from the hot zones to resume work while adopting all appropriate mitigation measures. Why are your predictions and mine more accurate than the so-called experts? Simple. We have common sense. We don't live in a world of theories and contingencies. We have to deliver as promised or we don't get paid. A fine-tuned BS detector and a good eye for simple solutions are tools we never leave home without. On the other hand, those with a lot of academic training are often paralyzed without a stack of studies and models to point the way. A lot of scholarly articles have been written about why blue-collar America has taken Donald Trump into its heart, but the answer is simple. He has the same no-nonsense attitude that we see in ourselves. When he's at his best, he's like us when we're at our best. So now that the president has put together a council to begin the work of opening the country, let me voice my instinct at this point. I talked about Trump cheerleading the economic revival. That I got wrong. A cheerleader is there to pump up the spectators. What we need is Donald Trump, the head coach. We need a serious, no-holds-barred, halftime locker room barn burner of a pep talk. This is not about spectators. This is about players. It's been hard for me in the last week. I've seen my friendly, open-hearted town slide into paranoia. The fear-mongering has been relentless. People seem to think that they are wading through an invisible sea of murderous germs. They look at the flattened curve as the calm before the storm. They walk around hunched over with their faces hidden, waiting for the axe to fall. It's heartbreaking. Several of my longtime Facebook friends have just dropped off the platform. They're lapsing into the depression that can be expected when a people person is forced into isolation. I get it. I'm struggling every day to stay motivated. Even these jackals are depressed. Donald Trump is not an economist. He's a businessman. He's had his share of failures and fantastic successes, and I'm guessing that he never once hired an economics professor to advise him. He knows what you and I know, that your Yelp review is written on the faces of your customers, or your foreman, or your coworkers. They let you know when you're getting it right. Given an equal amount of hard work, the difference between a successful contractor and one who fails is the ability to understand people. A good small business person becomes a very good psychologist. And what happens small also happens large. Trump is one of the best natural psychologists I've ever seen. He gets it. He watched Obama's uninspired economy like a seasoned head coach watching from the stands. He thought to himself, this is a good team. This is a friggin' Super Bowl team. They just don't have any coaching. So he set aside his own pursuits and took the job himself. And suddenly, our economy got back into the habit of winning because the new boss understood how to motivate the team. And then out of nowhere came the pandemic and the Dem panic. Now we have 20 million people out of their jobs. We need to get them back onto the field. I hope that Donald Trump steps aside and lets Mike Pence run the coronavirus task force. We need the president to personally head the new reopening council. And no daily press conferences. That does nothing but give media the attention they crave. They are the opposing team and they do not belong in the huddle. Look, we have a terrific natural motivator in the White House, and now is the time for him to do what he does best. His plan is to have business leaders working with health experts, working out the details of how we get this team out of the doldrums and back into the playoffs. That's fine as far as it goes, but the irreplaceable ingredient is the man himself. We need Coach Trump to lead the comeback. And with him kicking our butts and sending in plays from the sidelines, we'll start chewing up the field again. I know we will. We're too good a team to stay down for long. And pretty soon the cheerleaders will fire up the crowd, and a lusty chant will fill the stadium. Make America great again! Again! Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.